Hi Bowl Bakers! I was very fortunate to be a part of a bridal shower thrown by Kin Community for fellow YouTuber Alex Garza. Today I'm going to show you how to make marshmallow fondant and decorate a cake with it just like the one I made for Alex. Also stay tuned to the very end so you can see the bridal shower footage and all the other great channels that collaborated. So let's get baking. Now I know working with fondant and cake decorating can seem like a bit of a daunting task, but I'm hoping after this video you get a little bit more confidence and you'll be able to do it yourself from scratch. To start out making your fondant, you need to melt your marshmallows with a little bit of water until they're nice and soft and liquid. You can do it in a microwave or you can do it over a bain-marie. This doesn't take long, they literally take seconds to melt. When your marshmallow's melted, it should look a little bit like this. A big white marshmallow lava mess. From here we're going to mix this with our icing sugar. Now you can do this process by hand, you're just going to need a lot of elbow grease and it is a little bit messy, but I'm going to put mine on my kitchen mixer and mix it that way. And then into your icing sugar goes your sticky marshmallow. Now that your marshmallow is in there, turn your machine on low and try and combine the two ingredients together. It does take a little bit of time, you'll have to scrape down the bowl a little bit. You just want to mix it on the machine until the icing forms a ball. You're not actually going to be kneading it on the machine. If you need to add a little bit more of your reserve sugar, go ahead and do that. Once our fondant has all come together, I'm going to turn it out onto a well-oiled surface and I'm going to knead it until it's nice and smooth. Now you're probably wondering, how am I going to get this sticky mess out of this bowl? And it's very simple. We're going to oil our spatula, oil our hands, and get stuck in there and pull it all out. Stick with it and you'll be able to get all your marshmallow out of your bowl. But then you have to figure out how to get it off your hands. If you're new to my channel, then welcome. I really hope you're enjoying this video. And if you haven't done so already, don't forget to subscribe. So you know that icing sugar that you kept from earlier? We're actually going to knead that now into the fondant and we're going to keep on working it until we have a nice smooth icing at the end. It'll take around 5 to 7 minutes of kneading time. You'll notice as you keep on kneading that your fondant gets drier and it gets smoother. So once you've incorporated all of your sugar and your fondant doesn't feel wet, then you're done. Once you've kneaded your fondant, you can actually start to add any colour you like to it. So I'm going to keep a little bit aside and add some pink colour to it. You want to keep kneading until all of the fondant is the same colour. We're going to set this guy aside and I'm going to show you what we're going to use it for later. When storing your fondant, you want to cover it with a little bit of flavourless oil so it stops it from drying out. Now we're going to move on to getting our cakes ready. For my cake, I'm using my master recipe for yellow cake, but you can use carrot cake, sponge, chocolate, whatever your heart desires. Before we lay our fondant on our cake, we're going to frost it with buttercream inside and out. Your cake is uneven on top, give it a little bit of a slice and make it nice and level. And then what I like to do is flip it over so you get the bottom as the top. It's nice to have a frosting layer between your fondant to keep your cake nice and moist. We're going to pop this cake in the fridge and let the crumb layer set. Our next step is to roll out the fondant. To roll out your fondant, you want to generously dust your surface with icing sugar. This will prevent it from sticking. It's always handy if you roll your rolling pin in a little bit of sugar as well. Roll it out wide enough to totally cover your cake. Try and get it an even thickness. Move your cake to a place where you have space to decorate it. And then simply lay on your homemade marshmallow fondant. And just unfold the little sheet that we did earlier. Smooth the fondant out with your hands and slowly work your way down the sides of the cake. Make sure to smooth out any creases that form. Use a knife to cut away the excess fondant, but leave around ½ an inch extra because you'll need that later. Once you lay on your fondant and smooth down the sides, you might think it's not as smooth as you'd want it to be. And that's where this guy comes in. It is a fondant smoother. Now I've had this for around, I'd say 10 years and I never used it. But only until recently when I started working with fondant, I realized what it was and it works amazingly. But if you don't have one of these, maybe you could use a spatula or something with a hard edge. All we're going to do is buff around the cake and get out any little lumps or bumps and try and get it as smooth as we can. To finish the bottom of your cake nice and smooth, you can buff it with your fondant polisher, or you can tuck it in underneath the cake. I'm going to pop this cake layer in the fridge and get started on my other layer. I'm only doing 2, but you can do as many as you like. And then just like the other layer, go down the sides and smooth out any wrinkles and just get out any air and keep working until you get to the bottom. I actually think it's easier to make your own fondant than it is to buy, because when you go to the store and try and buy it, they sell it in such small packs that it would never cover a cake of this size. So in my opinion, it's much easier to make it and much more rewarding. And then you can go along afterwards and smooth it out. So remember that pink fondant that we dyed earlier? We're going to roll that out along with the leftover white fondant and we're going to cut out little beautiful hearts and lay them all around the cake. This makes it a perfect cake for weddings, bridal showers or any special occasion. Just use a little bit of royal icing to stick on your hearts. And then add on your next layer and continue pushing on your hearts. You can add splashes of colour any way you want. I hope you fear fondant no more and make your own beautiful creations. Make sure you check out the bridal shower video and see how much fun we had. Thank you so much for subscribing to my channel, and I'll see you back here again next Thursday for more bigger, bolder baking.